Good morning from New York or whatever time you wind up watching this. Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth and I'm super stoked for two reasons. One, we're going to dive a little deeper into the Servant Business Ship Planner. And I'm super stoked because I got technology to work today. Y'all ever have one of those days where it's like, I know in theory this should work, but does it? So without further ado, we're actually going to dive into just this beautiful little segment right here. So I'm using an app called GoodNotes on my iPad. This allows me to pull up the planner easily and dive in and play around on it. If you don't have GoodNotes or you're using an Android, you can simply open this application in any PDF, writable PDF program. So I want to start with the easy one. Are you ready for this? This is actually what you're going to do at the end of the day. So again, this is pre-books, not peanut butter and jelly time. Sorry. I love me some PB&J sandwiches. So that we're actually going to come back to at the end of the day. The reason we have 4 a.m. to 9 p.m., as my mother says, nothing good happens after 9 o'clock. So whatever y'all doing after 9, that's up to you. No judgment. And this is definitely by no means for the fact that you have to wake up at 4 a.m. That just happens to be when some people like to wake up. So I want to make sure that they have the option to write in meditation if that's their time and that's their jam, right? So I'm zooming in to make my life a little bit easier while I write this stuff in. So they might meditate at that time. They might take this time to, do some laundry and start breakfast. And while you may laugh that I'm writing down some really simple stuff, this is actually how my brain works. So if I don't write this in while I'm prepping coffee, it doesn't happen. And not because I don't have the best of intentions, purely because something will ding or something will happen, or I'll pick up my phone and check Instagram. And I won't register that I actually have other things that I want to do to start my day before I start the rest of my day. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, I need to start internally before I can do the external. And I actually had this realization recently that while I very much love getting work done in the morning, like there is something so peaceful about waking up before the rest of the world does. If I wake up at 4 a.m., I quite literally have 30 minutes of work time because I still want to meditate. I still want to take a shower. I still want to work on laundry. I still want to start breakfast, and I need to pack my lunch. And I still have to get my family up and out the door. And we all need to leave the house by 7 a.m. 3 hours is not actually enough time for me to get 2 hours of work done. But I only figured that out because I was writing it out and I was able to go through and really audit it on this. And I was like, oh, that's why I keep leaving late. Because instead of getting in and starting a small project, I jump in and I get into the meat and potatoes projects that I'm excited about. And then I feel like I'm tripping the rest of the day trying to catch up. If y'all know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments so I don't feel so alone. So then at 6 o'clock, I might say shower or wake up, kid. Oh. And keep in mind, I'm giving you my real time, but this might be that you don't want to do any of this because you're sleeping, because you're one of those after 9 people, which is okay. No judgment. I'm not mad about it. I used to live that life, right? Like, we're not here to shame. We're not here to judge. We're just here to make our lives what we need to be. So you might be like, F all of this, and then you're going to take all of this stuff and you're just going to simply move it down where you need to, right? So whatever that looks like for you is great. So let's pretend today that we are dealing with, let's go massage today. Well, fun fact, I am an LMT. I did live that massage life for a while. And then this wonderful human named Alice was actually a better massage therapist than I was. And I handed over my clientele to her. So we're going to say that we have Sally at 8 a.m. And Sally is a 90 minutes. So that's going to give us until 10. And I'm just going to write those blocks in for now, just for times. And then Oops, I gave myself too much time. Okay. So then we've got Sarah for 60. So I'm going to write that in green so that I have the easy cues, right? Like I like to color code things. So Sarah is going to be, and I am going to go through this 11 o'clock because I need the extra 15 minutes to reset the room, to breathe, to do all the things we do between people, because if we're going to take care of them, we got to take care of us. Am I right? And then, you know what? I don't actually have my next person until 12:30. We're going with some S's. So we're going to go with Sam. And Sam is a medical massage, and he's actually only 30 minutes. So I'm going to write that in. And you know what? I've got one more 60-minute at 1. I'm cramping myself a little bit, but you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So we'll go with another Sue for 60 minutes. And again, just getting in here. And then I'm going to, in orange, put clean up so that I don't get myself thinking that at 2 o'clock I'm done. Because in reality, I've got to write in soap notes. I've got to clean the area around me. I want time to check in with my team because I love who I work with, right? So I want to make sure that I am not just slapping into my day and I'm just slapping out of my day. Like that creates a tornado effect. And I've lived that life. I have worked that life, and it is a level of exhausting that quite frankly isn't worth it to me. But because I'm such a squirrely yet need to be analytical brain, I am going to write things like this in. And if it helps you, you can even go in and circle the times that you have people so that your brain can see what you have. See if that helps you. All right, so now I'm going to go back in, and let's say I don't know who Sally is. So since I don't know who Sally is, I am going to make sure I take a little bit more time in the intake, and we're going to actually discuss what deep tissue means. So I'm just going to write a DT because we all know that people think that deep tissue is like ha-cha! And it's not deep pressure, it is deep tissue. There's a difference. So we're talking about deep tissue, and I always like to offer hot stones because it's a simple offering that people really enjoy. So we're just going to go with some hot stones. And that's an easy thing when I don't know what I'm walking into. So then we have Sarah. I've worked on Sarah a few times, and one of the things that Sarah does repeatedly is she works with her shoulders, right? So oftentimes we're working from going like this, and so we need to work through here. So I'm going to not only work on her in the room, and because I've got a little bit of time before Sam, we're going to talk about foam rollers. So I'm going to write in foam and KT tape. She loves when I KT tape her shoulders. So I'm going to talk foam roller with her when we get out of the room, but I'm going to also KT tape her. So that means I need to make sure I have a wet rag that I can clean the surface of the skin. And a little bit of alcohol actually helps adhere that. So I've got foam rolling and KT tape for Sarah. She typically likes a lot of either I lost my pen. Either myofascial or deep tissue, so we'll talk about either one of those. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to unhook my setup for just a second while I go through this and re-stash my Apple Pen. It'll just take a second. And this is kind of what life rolls like, right? Like we start going through things and then we realize that we don't have the supplies. And the whole point of doing this planner is so that we know from the beginning of the day what we're going through. So while I'm lining this charge, I'm going to give you just an example of what this might look like. So Sally, who I've never met before, might come in and I'll say, Sally, please have a seat so we can do your intake real quick. I noticed from the form that you filled out online that these are the things that you're looking for. I have heated the hot stones for you. And I noticed that you do a lot of things in your life and you're very busy. So I'd really like to use the hot stones so I can get a little bit of a deeper work on you today without it feeling so much like you have to grin and bear it. Does that sound like a good option to you? So in that statement, what I did is I recognized that she gave me feedback before I ever met her, right? Like I did my homework. I recognized the lifestyle that she's living. And I don't know who doesn't live a busy life besides those of us that are working very intentionally not to. Then I also gave her the what I'm doing, the why I'm doing it, and how I'm going to do it, because I'm not going to give a whole body hot stone massage. That is a completely different offering. If I'm doing a full body hot stone massage, that is a 90-minute offering, and I need 30 minutes before to prep, and I need 30 minutes after to break down the room and myself. And it's a whole set of stones. Like, it's not just a typical 12, a 12 pack. To be able to get rocking and rolling, and it is a very set training that you're going to walk through with that module, right? So with Sally, I need her to understand that we are just working on a main portion. So because Sally sits at a computer, let's say, we want to make sure she knows that I'm going to work through her neck with the hot stones and her upper back, but I'm also going to place a couple on her legs just so that heat permeates and feels good. And then with Sarah, because I've seen her before, I'm going to make sure that I follow up. Hey, Sarah, I know that you work with your shoulders a lot, and I know that we've been really working to make sure that we are able to pull your shoulders back, and we've been working on all of these things. You know, how is that going for you? And allowing her to really understand that it's not just once you see me and then that's it, right? Like, we need to make sure that we've got both. All right, we've got some technicals. Let me figure out what's going on with my things. So we know that by following up with Sarah, that she is going to feel a level of heard and understood, that now we're actually diving really deep into core needs for people than just the surface layer of like, yes, massage is good, and yes, we're taking care of people, but we're going so much deeper than that. And y'all know our guests and clients, we take that deeper, right? All right, coming back to the surface. So we've got foam, we've got KT tape. She really likes deep tissue, and sometimes she does deep tissue or myofascial, because let's be really honest, the foam rolling and the KT tape are all going to happen after that 16 minutes. The deep tissue and the myofascial will probably happen within that 16 minutes. So we're definitely going to need some time to breathe some, put little bubbles in here to make sure that I don't try to do anything else besides breathe or eat there. And then Sue just likes her Swedish, and I'm still trying to get her to understand that what she keeps talking about with the smell good lotion is both for her and for me. That when I use the citrus scents, that it allows to clean the room, it allows to reset everybody. So while citrus can be an energizing, it can also be a cleansing. And Sue comes in at 90 miles an hour. So while I don't need to re-energize her, I do need to reset the room. You can also use sandalwood for that, just hot tip. So we're just going to talk about some aroma for her. And then we're also going to talk about the CBD, because God knows that that woman probably won't do any of the exercises I might be able to just show her towards, but she'll use some of the beautiful CBD cream. So those are going to be my suggestions for everybody. Now I know when they come in, I have a plan for them. I know I'm set up for them. I know that anything that could go sideways might, Murphy's Law, right? But I know that I've done my research, I know I've done my homework, and I know that when I see these people, they're going to feel so taken care of because I've got my plan going. All right, so let's keep going. Trying to decide where I want to go with this. You know what? The way that I do it, I'm just going to show you. So yes, I'm going to finish my day about 2:30. I'm going to tell my family I'll be done about 3, just because we all know I will chat with somebody on my way out the door. So at 4 o'clock on a Thursday, I'd be picking up the kid from art. Maybe we're going to make homemade pizza. And maybe it's movie night at home, right? And then just in case you guys don't already know, I am an old lady and I like my early bedtime. So if you see in this area, there's a bunch of money signs. There's someone that I adore, and she has always said, it's not about the money, but it's about the money. I am a millennial as a millennial as a millennial. I don't actually give a shit about the money until I realized I give a shit about the money. Here's what I mean by that. I don't actually care how much money I make, to the point that I would prefer if my wife just handed me cash and said, this is what you have for the week, go. But I do like nice clothes. I do like being able to take my kid on vacation. I do like being able to afford whatever I want for dinner, right? I'm in New York right now, and last night I absolutely ordered the pierogies and the chicken and waffles. I don't want to have to think about whether or not I can afford that. So while I don't care, I do care. It just shows up a little differently for me. So for me, the reason I don't care about money first, but I have to put it first, is this. In these money areas, I have to look at where my soul fuel is. Soul fuel is this thing inside of us that's a little flame. And if we don't feed this flame inside of us, Sally, Sarah, Sam, and Sue, who actually pay our bills, will get nothing from me. Hey, how are you? Would you like deep tissue today? Let me, and next. And that is exactly what you're going to feel like if you don't have these areas of soul fuel set for you. Soul fuel can look a lot like boundaries. Soul fuel can look like self-care. Soul fuel can look like downtime. It can look like friend time. It can look like a lot of things. And for each person, it is going to be different. But what I hope you notice is in this day, I'm going to have an equal amount of both money time and of soul fuel. This is how I know that I'm going to create harmony in my life, because right now I'm at training, so I might be a whole lot of soul fuel today because I'm not making money while I'm here, but my soul fuel today will make me money in the future, right? Everything I'm learning today, I'm going to turn around and share and grow other people. So I like to think of it as paying my future self. I hope you run with that one. So let's say Sally is a 90-minute, so that's $84. Plus, if we do deep tissue and hot stones, that's, excuse my really bad math, so we're going to go with 124 because I'm just going to make that my two add-ons. So this is not what she is paid for. Let me be very clear. This is what we are planning for. So we are still at the beginning of our day. We are still planning our best life. So we're at 124. We're going to say that Sarah does all three things and takes home a foam roller. So we're going to be at, we're going to say 60-minute massage plus the 3 add-ons. I think that is 96. And then taking home a foam roller, I think those are 18. This is what happens when I don't actually have my numbers in front of me. And this is where we get tripped up with guests. If we don't have this written down on our love notes ready to talk to people, we look exactly like I look right now. I have, I have $50, $50, I have $60, $60. And this is why we get tripped up with our guests and we can't charge them properly because we don't have our homework done. So I'm glad you get to see this in real time. All right, so we got a 30-minute. So my medical massage was actually $56 for a 30-minute massage. There were no add-ons. We only worked on one area, so I might work on a right trap and a left trap just to be able to even them out. But I really specifically worked 20 minutes in that area. There was no fluff, there was no buff, there was no enjoying. Let's just be very clear. Sue is a 60-minute. She's going to do the aromatherapy, so we're going to put that at 75. And then she's going to take home the CBD. That's at 44. All right, so I have at the side of this page, because I did not print it properly, we have our before plan and after plan. So at the beginning of the day, we just had Sally at 90, Sarah at 60, Sam at 30, and Sue at 60. So what you would do is you would actually go ahead and add up what they are scheduled for, not what their add-ons are. So scheduled for. So let's say that's going to be just for the sake of easy, math, I would have you and invite you do your own math on this one, because each company is going to be different, right? So I'm going to break your brain if you try to follow along with me, but I want to give you numbers to see them written down. So let's say that our money at the beginning of the day was 200 scheduled. But with our add-ons, so our add-ons in our company are $15 a piece. So with our add-ons, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 add-ons. So 6 times 15 is 90. So I started my day at 200 and I'm ending my day at 290. That's not too shabby because I wouldn't want to add one more massage. 4 people in this 6-hour shift seems like a pretty good day to me. I might feel froggy and be willing to do an additional 30-minute massage, but to be really honest, to be able to give them everything I have at my 100%, I'd be pretty okay with it. So at 290, I feel like that's a pretty good upgrade from my $200 day. And even if you do a quick math on this, you'll notice 124 plus 96 plus 56 already shoots me above and beyond that, right? And then my retail plans are already at well over $60. Now, you've got all of this planned. So all you're going to do at the end of your day, you ready? Did you rebook Sally? Did you rebook Sarah? Sam said he'd book online. Sue rebooked. You're going to make sure that you've got the kid for next Thursday, and you guys are going to do homemade pizza again in 3 weeks. Yes, I'm checking back in with my kid to know when I get to pick them up from art again, and yes, I'm checking in when to do pizza again. It's not that I'm going to sit and be like, we are doing pizza night every 2 weeks. But when we enjoy our family and do things, we need to make sure that we're pre-booking them just like we are our guests, so that they know that we are enjoying them the way that we are enjoying the people we see during our day. So we're finishing up the day at work, and we are going to write in just after, and we're going to talk about what happened. So did Sally get all the things? Did Sarah get all the things? Did Sam get all the things? And did Sue get all the things? And you would write in your total service dollars here and your total retail that you sold here. And then at the end of every day, you are able to have your totals set up in, I'm going to highlight it. You're able to have your totals set up here so that as you flip through your book each day, you can add them up. And then when you get to the end of the week, let's get to the end of the week real quick. There's actually this little bottom guy that will let you finish writing out your total service dollars. So let's say you did 1,000 this week and then 500, right? So we've really simplified what you're doing, but that's partially because I want to make sure that you are taking the time to actually do, and you guys will notice this is one that I've made clean for you. I want to make sure that you are taking the time to actually fill in what is useful for you and your life. We like to think that it's just work or just, oops, I went to the totally wrong page. Let's get back to where we were. There we go. So we like to think that, we're going to focus at work and be 100% at work, but then we want to be 100% at home. We have to make the space for the in-between time so that we can be 100% here and we can be 100% there. Otherwise, it just doesn't work, quite frankly. And we all know that if it's not working at work, it's not going to work at home. And if it's not working at home, then it's not going to work at work. Y'all feel what I'm saying on that one? So I invite you to be able to take the time. This took us probably 20 minutes to do this overall training because I was breaking it down bite size by bite size. So your first couple times doing this, it might take some time doing it. But to be real honest, I think after you do it a few times, you're going to find that it doesn't actually... I'm fighting with the camera. I think the first couple times it will take you 20 minutes or so to do it. And then after that, you'll find that it might take you 5. And then once you get really good at it and once you get really solid in it, it might take you 3 minutes. So 20 minutes now to save you 15 minutes later to make a lot more money and a lot more impact on your guests, I think is worth it. I hope this is helpful. I hope this walks you through all of the nitty-gritty just in the time portion of the Servant Business Ship Planner. I look forward to hearing your feedback, and I look forward to hearing how this helps make your life easier and better.